Good evening and welcome to the Camden County Vocational School where we're just underway here, and in the first, the 200 medley relay, East will be in lanes 1, 3, and 5, and West will be in lanes 2, 4, and 6. In the early going, we have the backstroke first, of course, and East and West in lanes 3 and 4 are close right now, dead even. Of course, we still have a long way to go ahead of us. In this 200 medley relay, we will have first the backstroke, then the breaststroke, then the fly and the butterfly, that is, and finally ending up, uh, finally wrapping up the 200 milli relay. Okay, now West was in the water just a little bit faster, and now we have the breaststroke, second of the two strokes here, and West is ahead just by a head here, and they go bobbing up and down the lane. And two swimmers, we have three swimmers now in lanes 3, 4, and 5, in pretty much a dead heat here. West and the East girl in lane 3 now taking a slight lead, and she pulls up now, nearing her partner in lane 3. Of course, West hanging tough, but now falling to a little bit of a third place now. East in lane 3 in the water first, followed lane 5, and then lane 4. So West has dropped to third place. Of course, now the butterfly, which is the hardest of the four strokes in swimming, and West catching up making up a little bit of ground, taking second place now. And second place they have, with first place going to East in lane 3. And lane 5 falling a little bit behind the butterfly here for East. So we have East in lane 3 first. Okay, and we have for lane West in second in lane 4. And then, of course, now East, lane 3, takes off with about a 2 body length lead on West lane 4. This will finish it off. And West trying to make up some ground here. And they are doing just a little bit of that. They've caught up just a little bit, but still the East swimmer still stays ahead by about a body length and a half. And although the West girl's making a valiant effort, she doesn't look like she's going to be able to catch up in the limited amount of time she has left. So in the first event, we have East winning in lane 3, with West coming in second in lane number 4. And it looks like East from lane number 5 will come in third to wrap up the first event, the 200 medley relay. So now we're just waiting the times of that. And in lane 3, it was 41.87 for the 200 medley relay. And then in lane 4, as they put up the times, we're waiting to see what it will be. But in the first event, we have in lane 3, with the team of Michelle Cotillo, Tricia Patrick, Stacey Brown, and Sharon Curry winning the first event. And now, as we get ready to the 200 freestyle, which is individual meets, and we have, of course, the same lane assignments. 1, 3, and 5 will be for East, 2, 4, and 6 for West. Okay, we have the buzzer, and we're off. We're underway here, and taking the early lead in lane number 3, I believe. Now in lane number 5 from East, that would be Kim Frederick, I believe, yes. And so now, yes, Kim taking quite a lead here in lane number 5. And she takes about a half a body length lead over the closest competitor, which is her fellow swim mate from East, number 3 there, on lane 3, which would be Sharon Millay there. And then now we have still in lane 5 taking trying to pull out the lead a little bit, although still staying close is her partner from East in lane number 3. But from West now is fallen into, well, let's see, now in third place and fourth place are West, and then fifth and sixth lagging behind are the East swimmers. So now we have in lane 5, as looked early in the race, taking the lead. Kim Frederick is so far hanging on to it, although she's now been passed in lane 3 by Sharon Millay. So we have quite a battle going on between the two East girls right now. Of course, always putting forth their best, and so we have trying their hardest here. And in lane 3 now, it's taken about maybe one stroke lead in Sharon Millay over her teammate, Kim Frederick. As they come down now, and again down the pool length here, we have still Sharon maintaining now. She's extending her lead just a little bit to make it half a body length here as she goes on. And now as we approach the final 2 laps of the event, we have Sharon Millay taking about a half a body length now, 3/4 body length lead, trying to extend here. And she is extending just a bit, but now putting on the pressure is Kim Frederick from East. And now they're just about even once again. So it's quite a battle going on here within the East swimming team, although the other swimmers have kind of lagged behind here. But these two East girls have certainly kept up the pressure, kept up the pace. But again, Sharon Millay taking the lead from Kim Frederick, her teammate. Now we see as the end, if we wrap things up, East will take first and second, with West taking third. So East, Kim Frederick takes the win there, and then West got third place, and East also got second place in lane 5. That would be Kim Frederick. Okay, so then as we await the next event, which will be the 200 individual medley, which is one person doing 50 yards of each of the 4 strokes: breaststroke, breaststroke, freestyle, butterfly, and backstroke. So as we await that, they've posted some of the times for some of the girls here, and now we're waiting for the 200 individual medley. So now after that's over, so the first first two events, East has won quite handily, and now we have the 200 freestyle. So as we get ready, swimmers take their marks, and we have in lanes 1, 3, and 5 East, and then just 2 swimmers for West in this event, lanes 2 and 4. Okay, so now as we await the start of this event, take their marks. There's the whistle, and good dive in for all the girls. And they do the butterfly, of course, the most difficult stroke. And taking the early lead in lane 3 for East is Susan Ruppel. She's being challenged by West and East competitors, but it's still very early in this race. And the butterfly is certainly the hardest of the four strokes. All right, so now in lanes 3 and 5, we have another battle going on, and the East competitors doing quite well overall. The 3 East competitors are now holding it for a second and third spots here. It's a pretty close heat between lanes 3 and 5 once again, with lane 1, Kathy Lynch, in third place right now, but still in lane 3, it looks like Susan Ruppel's holding a slight lead at this point in the backstroke competition of this part of the 200 individual medley. And now as we have, yes, certainly Susan Ruppel taking about a half a body length lead over her teammate Susan Krinzik. And so we have her finishing her backstroke up and now going into breaststroke. She'll do 50 yards of the breaststroke, and then the freestyle, and then we'll have finished. So we still have the same standings. Lane 3 East, that would be Susan Ruppel in first, Kathy Lynch in second. Although now Susan Krinzik putting on the pressure here in lane 5. So great deal. Looks like girl from East there in lane 3, Susan Ruppel, will be able to hang on for the victory here. But we still have another whole stroke to do, which will be the freestyle, although it's considered by many the easiest of the 4 strokes for this event. All right, and now lane 3, Susan Ruppel taking a pretty commanding lead here. She's got, at least 7 body lengths over her nearest competitor, so she's doing quite well. Although she's trying to be challenged here by her teammate Susan Krinzik in lane 5, but it looks like she's going to be able to pretty easily hang on for a victory here. So as we wrap up the 200 individual medley, Susan Ruppel hanging on for victory from East. She really poured it on in the breaststroke to take the lead, and now has very handily won this event. And then her teammate Susan Krinzik in lane 5 should clinch for second. And then wrapping up the sweep for this event for East will be Kathy Lynch in lane 1 getting third. And then 2 people from West now waiting to finish off this event. And then next coming up is the 50-meter freestyle, which is definitely all speed. Some people call it just a dive, a few fast swimming in between, and a turn, and that's it. Because if you make one little mistake, hey, that's it. So finally West finishes up, and now we get set for the 50-meter freestyle. Of course, we'll have the same lane assignment, so it'll be lanes 1, 3, and 5 for East, 2, 4, and 6 for West. And as we get set up here, each team will have 3 swimmers in this event. They're taking their marks now, and then we'll be underway in the quickest event of all here, the 50-meter freestyle. And there we go. There's a dive. And good dive off. Everybody's pretty early. However, in lane 4 from West, taking the early lead. So it looks like West also in lane 2, dominating this event. So we've got lane 2 and 4 from West. Looks like they have a good shot at winning this. So lane 4 now taking lead. And Debbie Laux in lane 4. Looks like she can hang on for a victory. Lane 2, second place will go to West also. And with East coming up with the third place there in lane 3. As we wrap things up right now, before they start diving competition, the 200 medley relay won by East, so was the 200 meter freestyle on the individual medley. The 50 meter freestyle, however, won by West. And then we come up to the diving, where Allison Maish of West, considered one of the best divers on the East Coast today. So, of course, in high school. And we will see that and all the other girls in the diving competition. Of course, a vision of excellence here at the Camden County Vocational School. As now we get the pool ready here that make the preparations for the diving event. We've got to get the lanes out of the way so the girls have plenty of room to concentrate and all that. And the first, of course, varying dives will be done by all the girls of varying difficulties. They'll do difficulties ranging from probably 1.2, 1.4 to maybe over 2, and that, of course, difficulty is based on how hard the dive was to do. We'll be seeing things maybe 1.5 somersaults or backward dives and whatnot. There you see the girls warming up right now, getting the feel of the water. Of course, they're looking for on these dives a lack of splash on the entry, and good form in the air, of course, good spring, but not too much distance from the springboard, because they want to see precision on these dives as well. So, all the girls continue warming up, and of course they always, as you see them setting the springboard to the tension that they want it at. There's Allison Maish, just getting the feel of the springboard, see if she likes that tension. You know, it's also very important, the way you place yourselves on the end of the board, the way the tension is. If you have too much spring, your dive will not be good. If you have too little, of course, you also cannot perform to your optimum ability. So the spring is, of course, essential. And you can see how high she's getting. And there you saw just one of the plethora of dives that she has in her repertoire, of course, being an excellent diver. And diving seems to be West's strong point here in the competition. It has been now quite a while. And of course, it's always very difficult to do these dives, because a great deal of intense pressure comes in, as you saw in that back dive, but she didn't quite get over enough. And warming up, and you could cause yourself some serious damage if you don't practice correctly, get in shape, and do these dives properly. It's very essential to make sure that you're doing everything right, or the potential injury is quite great. We're just about ready here now to start the diving competition. But just once we do that, once again, let's recap the first 4 events. The first 3 went to East. That was 200 medley relay, 200 freestyle, 200 individual medley. And the 50 meter freestyle went to West. First event they won. And now we'll see what happens in the diving competition. Of course, while we have a moment to spare, let's thank the old technical crew here, Mr. Gordon Hampson and Josh Baronoff here doing our sound and camera work. Of course, the most essential part of today's meet. Okay, the first diver for Cherry Hill East will be Nancy Dilks. She'll do a back dive in layout position with a 1.7 difficulty. Okay, so let's see how she executes this. Of course, placement on the board, essential now. And of course, judges looking for closest to the board, lack of splash, good form in the air. Let's see how she does. Okay, nice takeoff. Minimal splash. East seems to like it. And she got on this score. It's 5 1/2, 5 1/2, and a 7. Whoa, well, 1.5 differential. Usually don't say that, but now for Cherry Hill West. Kel now to back dive in lab position with a 1.7 difficulty. So the same dive we'll see. We'll see how Cal can handle this dive. Of course, now we see a replay of Nancy's dive. And as Cal sets up here. Okay, she's concentrating. Of course, placement essential. Let's see how her dive compares to Nancy's before her. Good form, but she was just a little bit too far away from the board. And the scores reflect that with a 4.5, 4, and we're waiting the third judge's score here. And a 4. So there's a 4.5, a 4, and a 4 for Cal from Cherry Hill West. And now for Cherry Hill East.
She will also do a back dive in layup position, degree of difficulty 1.7.
So she will be doing the same dive as her teammates and Cal from West. And let's see how she executes it. So far, the girls have been doing fairly good job on this particular dive. She gets good height, a little bit of splash, but she was very close to the board. And she gets a 6.5, 5.5, and 5.5. So the best scores of the day so far. And now Allison Maish from Cherry Hill West will also do a back dive in lab position with a difficulty with 1.7. Okay, so Allison Maish, excellent diver for West. Let's see if she can surpass the scores just given to the East competitor. She concentrates now and putting her feet on the end of the board. Getting ready to bounce the spring. Here we go. Excellent height. No splash at all. She's excellent. And they get a 7.5, a 7.5, and a 9. So as again, we see a 1.5 point discrepancy, which is very rare among the judges. But as we see this, somehow the judges, I don't know, getting high scores than the other two. And now the second dive is a forward dive in pike position with a 1.3 degree difficulty, so it's considered an easier dive than the one just performed, which you saw by Allison Maish in the replay now coming up in slow motion, which was done excellently. And now we go look for the forward dive here. Getting pretty good height. Gina toes, no splash. And the judges award a 5, a 5, and a 4.5. So the So Cal's next dive now will be a 1.4 difficulty, a bit more difficult than East. Let's see how she can handle it. You see she's adjusting the tension to what she wants, because the tension is essential here. If you don't get the proper one, you know, your dive will not be your optimum level. Of course, all the girls will be doing 6 dives. They're on their second right now. She concentrates, approaches the takeoff, gets some good height, and the judges give her a 4, 3.5, and a 3.5. So she didn't get good scores. So now we have a 2.2 difficulty because she's doing a forward dive with 2 somersaults, which is of course very difficult to execute properly. And let's see how she does. Good height, gets good rotation, and the judges give her a 3, a 4, and a 3.5. So as you see, she didn't quite rotate over enough. You see that on the replay. That's why she got too much splash. So Allison Maish now coming up with a 2.4 difficulty, 2.5 somersaults, the most difficult dive of the evening thus far. Let's see, she concentrates, looks, the crowd hushes here. And she gets ready, she hits the takeoff, gets excellent height. Great rotation, sticks it. 5, a 4.5, and a 5.5. Of course, what happened there was she over-rotated and couldn't quite stretch out enough, but excellent job, Allison, executing those 2.5 somersaults. Now she's doing this East swimmer, the East diver here, doing a degree of difficulty 2.3. And backwards dive here. Let's see how well she executes it. You see how far on the edge of the board she is. Just pointing that out is, you know, the balance required is very, very high. All right, she does a full twisting back, double full twist, and she gets a 4, a 5.5, 5, and a 4.5. So excellent dive
Towel
there.
third dive
And
is a
now
back
Tao's
dive
third
in
dive is a
pike
back dive in
position
pike
with one
position, which
somersault.
one
Degree of
somersault with a
difficulty
difficulty
1.6.
of a 1.6 degree difficulty there. Let's see how she does here. Okay, so she sets up now, squares away on the edge of the board, sets herself in, gets ready for the spring, and finally the dive. Here we go. Does a somersault pike position, gets her knees bent just a little bit, and that cost her a 3, a 3, and a 3.5. Also, she was quite a bit ways from the board, which probably cost her some points also. Wanda's third dive is a back dive in tuck position with 1.5 somersaults with a 2.2 degree difficulty, which is, of course, far more difficult and a bit more difficult than the previous dive done by the West competitor. Let's see how she does. Okay, she springs off, executes it nicely, but quite a bit of splash though, and that's really going to cost her. She gets a 4, a 3, and a 2. Again, though, we see a 2-point discrepancy, which is really too much for this meet. Well, there she's doing Allison now doing a 2.4 degree difficulty dive, back dive, 1.5 somersaults in tuck position. And here we go. This is Allison. Her specialty is diving, and we'll see how well she can execute for West to try to bring them both on the winning track. And oh, excellent execution that time. And they show, they'll just show it. They get a 6.5, a 6.5, and a 7. Of course, they're consistent that time. And Allison May should be happy with that dive. And Nancy's fourth dive is an inward dive in tuck position with 1 somersault. The degree of difficulty is 1.6. And before, you just saw the replay of Allison's dive. Simply excellent execution on those 2 rotations. And now we're watching Nancy here as she squares herself on the board, balances herself in, and gets ready to execute here. She does that inward dive. When somersault, sticks it, but she gets quite a bit of a splash, although she still gets a 6, a 5.5, and a 6. So she gets a 6, a 5.5, and a 6. Quite good scores again. Tao's fourth dive is a forward dive in layup position with 1/2 twist. The degree of difficulty is 1.8. So let's see how she does on this forward dive here, the 1.8 degree difficulty. Just concentrating away here. And here we go. And she doesn't turn quite all the way around, but doesn't get much of a splash. But she's so far away from the border, she gets a 1.5, a 2.5, and finally a 2. So she's really not a bit dejected with that score, but she'll get over it. Wanda's next dive is a reverse dive with the layup position. And the degree of difficulty is 1.8. So here she goes. It's a springboard. Gets quite a bit of hike. It stays close to it. And 6, a 6.5, and a 6 for that dive. So she stays close to the board. Minimal splash and excellent execution in the air. The key is to this score. Now Allison's fourth dive is a forward dive with 1 and 1/2 somersaults and 1 twist in freestyle. And the degree of difficulty is 2.2. So she hasn't done only one of her dives in below a 2 difficulty, and the rest have been above them. So Allison really putting on the pressure here and executing quite well also. The judges awards are a 6.5, a 5.5, and a 6.5. Again, we see the 1-point discrepancy, which really shouldn't be that much. Now Nancy's dive is a forward dive in pike position with 1 and 1/2 somersault. The degree of difficulty is 1.7. So it's considered a little easier dive, although none of these dives are too easy to do. These girls put in a lot of practice, a lot of hours of practice to accomplish what they can do here at the meets, and it's a joy to watch. And there she goes. She gets her knees bent over a little bit, and that really costs her because she gets a 2, a 2, and a 2. So although she was already in the air, once she got near the water, she really erred on her leg structure. She's doing a 1.5 degree difficulty dive here. This is the 5th dive, and we're nearing the end of the diving competition. looks like Allison Meish has a good shot at winning this event. Okay, now she concentrates, bounces off, inward dive,
Judges award.
and she gets a 4.5, a 2.5, and a 2.5. And there again, we see a 2-point discrepancy, which really should not occur. I mean, they should, at least in gymnastics, as they confer, if there's more than a 1.5-point discrepancy. So really, they should institute that in swimming, because this discrepancy is really really hard, because the swimmers aren't sure now how to gauge if they're doing well or not, and it's very difficult psychologically for the swimmers. And now we see this dive executed quite well. She gets a 5.5, a 5.5, and a 5.5. There we see the consistency that should exist in the swimming profession. Now Allison's next dive is an inward dive in pike position with 1.5 somersaults with a degree of difficulty of 2.4. So she'll be, I believe this is Allison's last dive, and she'll be trying to finish with a flurry here. Okay, executes that superbly, and she gets a 7.5, a 6.5, and an 8.5. And again, we see a 2-point discrepancy, and it just should not occur. I cannot stress it enough. Okay, towel 6 and final dive is a reverse dive in tuck position, degree of difficulty of 1.6. However, the judges there for a minute thought the wrong diver was up. They clarified that, and they realized that she should be doing her last dive now. And let's see how she does here. Okay, she really concentrates now. And, oh, what a belly flop. And a lot of the crowd looks away in anguish because that really hurt her. She gets a 1.5, a 1, and a 2, and it's really hard for the judges to give a score like that after they know she's really hurt herself, but that's the way these things go. Okay, she's doing an inward dive in tuck position with 1 somersault with a 1.6 degree of difficulty. So this is the last round of dives. I believe Allison still has 1 more to do. Okay, she executes that really well. She gets a bit of a splash, but she still gets a 6, a 6.5, a 6, a 6, and a 5.5. So quite good scores. And now Allison doing her last dive. This is the last dive of the diving competition. She's doing a back dive with 1.5 somersaults. With 1.5 twists. And a freestyle. This is a 2.5 degree difficulty, so this is the most difficult dive of the meet. And the crowd is silent, and they want to see Allison really execute this dive well. If she does, she certainly will lock up the diving competition for West. She does it very well with a bit of a splash, but she still manages to get a 6.5, a 6.5, and a 6. You see, she didn't quite get her legs straight enough in the air, but all in that, she did it excellently. And I believe Allison Meish, with that dive, won the diving competition for West. So that's 2 in a row now for West, the 50 freestyle and the diving, with East winning before that 200 individual medley, the 200 freestyle, and the 200 medley. The swimmers now get ready to take their marks as soon as the judge walks over to start off this competition. The first one we'll be looking at is the 100-meter butterfly. Now, if you see the swimmers in the bathing suits to wonder why they're not feeling chilled, it's because it's over 80 degrees in here, and all the rest of the audience is simply broiling. And although the swimmers are feeling quite comfortable, the rest of us here are starting to feel the heat. The heat is fatiguing us just a bit. That's why you see such a quieted atmosphere. It's almost like a sauna in here. But, of course, they do it for the swimmers. The athletes considered the most important members of this event, and, of course, they're right. So, as we get ready to get underway, they make a correction at the scores table, last minute substitution for East. And so it will have the same lane assignments. We'll have 1, 3, and 5 will belong to East. 2, 4, 6, West. For East, I believe, in this event, we have Laura Lynch, Kathy Lynch, and Becky Odeglio. For West, Debbie Laux, and we're underway. So, in this, we see that this is the butterfly, of course, 100-meter, a very, very difficult event. taking the early lead. Looks like lane 3 from East, but being pressured heavily by lane 2 from West right now. And then, but no, lane 2 from West now has fallen into 3rd place, or 4th place now. And it's lane 3 from East, lane 5 from East, and lane 1 from East. So looks like Butterfly seems to be one of East's stronger events here, or one of West's weaker ones, maybe a combination of the two. But we see lane 3 and 5, but now trying to put on the pressure to get 3rd place in lane 2. Lane 2 from West, trying to get a 3rd place for West. However, out by about now 3 body lengths in lane 3 for East. Kathy Lynch, I believe, is doing simply excellently, and she can't complain at this point. She finishes up the winner. We see now we have a battle for second, slight battle between lane 1 and lane 5. Looks like East member from lane 1 will take it, Laura Lynch, and Becky Ojaglio will take it. So it's another sweep for East, this time in the 100-yard butterfly. So taking after West winning 2 in a row, now East comes back to win the 100-yard butterfly, and now he's just waiting for Jody from West to finish off her run, and she'll be fine. And then we'll go on to the 100-yard freestyle between the two teams. Okay, so this event we saw the East sweep the 100-yard butterfly, and now the judge is telling the next group of swimmers to take their marks. And, so we'll have this time 3 swimmers from each, 2, 4, 6, belonging to West, and 1, 3, and 5 belong to East. And there we go, and off to dive, all fairly even. However, taking the very early lead, looks like perhaps in lane 1 or lane 3, both from East though. But this one is fairly close. 100-meter freestyle, a fairly quick race. Although now we have a battle between lanes 3 and 4. 4 from West in lane 4. Swimmer has about a quarter of a body length lead over East swimmer in lane 3. She does a nice flip turn there to extend the lead just a bit. Solara in lane 4, who's trying to hang on victory here, and if she can take the lead off this flip turn, she's got an excellent shot at winning this event for West to give him a real morale booster. Being challenged, though, excellently in lane 3 from East. But now, as she looks around her momentarily, she sees that she's in the lead and she wants to win this event for West. And she's coming charging. She's extending her lead now, 3/4 of a body length, 1 body length. It looks like she's going to hang on to win this event. Swimming an excellent time, and she will win for West in lane 4. And then in lane 3 for East will be second. And East will also take 3rd place in lane 5, 4th place, lane 2, 5th, lane 1, and finishing it off in lane 6 for West. So West now just comes right back and wins the freestyle. Sure hope all the viewers at home are enjoying the meet. Certainly we are here. Well, joining me now, commentator Mike Dean from West.
And we have 3 out of the 4 swimmers doing the stand-up start.
Is there what start do most people like to use, and what's the advantage to the starts?
It's kind of pushing towards the stand-up start. Now we have all the boy swimmers do it. That swim the backstroke now. And throughout the meet, you see a lot of people turn into it.
All right, so taking the early lead, lane 3 from East, followed closely by 2 West competitors in the water. Look, we have a real battle now in lanes 3 and 4. Lane 3 from East and lane 4 West, and in 3rd place also from West, lane 2. Meanwhile, lane 3 now, hang on into the final 100 meters here, 500 yards, pardon me. We've got finally we've got the final 100 yards. We've got excellent swimming going on. We've got quite a battle though, 3 and 4. Between East and West. Swimmer lane 4 for West trying to catch up, but it doesn't look like she's going to be able to do it in the final 10 meters. Looks like East will hang on for another victory in this meet, while West will take 2nd and 3rd. Okay, so now following the 100-meter backstroke, we'll have the 100-meter breaststroke, and finally the 400-meter freestyle to wrap up 400 meter freestyle relay to wrap up the evening's events. It's sure hope all the viewers at home are enjoying the meet. Certainly we are here. The crowd really being able to participate well. And Mike Dean, who had to leave us now, he has a meet coming up, but we thank him for joining us. And now we have the 100 meter breaststroke. They take their marks. There's the buzzer, and there we go. And taking the early lead, lane number 5, also pretty close here, but lane number 2 for West, and lane number 3 for East. So looks like it's going to be a really highly contested race here. Of course, the advantage is to those who can execute the flip turn, although none of the girls did it there, and that's really the key to this race. If you can execute a flip turn, you can get out really far ahead because the friction that you pick up by not doing that is really immense. Meanwhile, in lane 3 now, or actually lane 5, East is taking the lead, followed by her teammate in lane 3 and taking 3rd place in lane 4. So now, finally coming up, we've got lane 4 for 3rd place for West, but now being challenged by her teammate in lane 2, and lanes 3 and 5. 5 has the lead right now, coming down for the last 50 meters of the breaststroke. We have lane 5 from East. Looks like she'll hang on for a victory. Looks like lane 3 from East will get 2nd place. And probably lane 4 for West will get 3rd. We'll see, though. She's being challenged just a bit in lane 2 from her teammate. But no, in the final touch, it looks like in lane 3 took the final win, while lane 5 from East took 2nd place. Lane 4, 3rd. Lane 2, 4th. And then the rest of the swimmers coming in to finish it off for us here. So then after this is over, we've got the final event of the evening, the 400-meter freestyle relay, where all the girls will be swimming the freestyle stroke. They'll all be swimming 100 yards, 4 girls from East and West, many different teams of girls. The first swimmers have been instructed to take their marks, and then we'll be ready to go underway. So now we have swimming only 2 swimmers for West, while 3 for East, and that's 3 teams for East and 2 for West. Off the dive, we've got the initial lead taken in lane 5 or 3. It's pretty close, but East, and then it looks like lane 4 West, and it's going to be a highly contested meet. We can see already. However, lane 5 East is taking the lead quite handily already. They've got about a body length lead over her nearest competitor, which is, well, actually half a body length lead over her nearest competitor in lane 3. Although now they've caught her teammate in lane 3 is caught up quite a bit, and now they're neck and neck, while in lane 4 we see West maintaining a 3rd place position. And now we have in lane 5, though, always seeming to, with that flip turn, to push off quite well. Looks like she's going to be able to get first to her East teammate, although the other East team is only about half a body length behind, which is not far at all, especially in a race of this length. But in lane 5, then lane 3 touches 2nd, and then we have lane 4 touching 3rd. And as you can see, lane 3 caught up very quickly for East, and is now taking a little bit of a lead. And also lane 4 for West has been catching up just a bit now. And off the turn, we see the 2 East girls now neck and neck, taking about a 4 body length lead over their nearest competitor, which is from West in lane 4. And now you see is in lane 3 has taken the lead here by about half a body length, and she's going for her last 100 yards, or she touches her next competitor. And as you can see, the 2 East girls have simply been able to pull away here, while West in lane 4 still maintaining a strong 3rd, but it looks like it's going to be just a bit too much to make up this right now. Now we see again lane 3 now has taken about a body length lead, but once she pulls away, the girl in lane 5 seems to be able to close it. However, this time the tide has shifted, and she has managed to pull a good 3 body length lead over her competitor, and given now her teammate, about a 5 body length lead over her nearest East competitor, and about a pool's length over the West competitor. So in the final event here, it looks like East could hang on to win, and of course then win the meet, win it all tonight. So as we go on, we've got in lane three and five, trying to catch up. But lane 3 for East, it's got the lead right now, with lane 5 for East in second and 4 for West in third. So as we do this, we've got lane 3 here, still managing to take quite a lead, although not as much as it was, but it's still about six.
Yes, would you like to buy a blanket, Betsy? Jerry,
Six length lead.
$15.
And now, as we go on to the go on here, we have still the same lead, lanes 3 and 5, and certainly it looks like East is going to be able to hang on to win here. East is doing their final 100 meters, and if they can hang on to that, they'll be able to hang on to win this evening. Of course, all the swimmers doing simply excellent. All the training they put in certainly paid off, and they gave us an excellent show tonight. We thank them all. We thank our technical crew once again, Mr. Hansen and Joshua Baronoff, our audio man here, and also our second cameraman. And we hope you've all enjoyed this evening, because certainly swimming, of course, a stamina sport, very excellent. West put forth their best effort this evening, so did East, and that's what makes these events so great, because everybody giving it their all, and it's the sportsmanlike conduct of all. The winners have come in. They've been, as we predicted, lanes 3 and 5 from East, and it looks like West will probably be able to take third place in this event, which means that East will have won for this evening, the entire meet, which is quite nice for them. They remain undefeated on the year, I believe. West put forth quite a good effort, though, and they certainly played well, swam well. All the girls on the West team deserve a lot of credit. They put forth a lot of hard work, and it certainly paid off, and all the East girls as well. Of course, tonight we saw Allison Maish performing as usual, her excellence in diving, and of course we look for her to go on in that.
Anybody back there, Betsy, want to
She's certainly excellent, and she's certainly got a future on it if she wants one. And now we're waiting for the final West competitor, and as soon as she comes in, the classic East-West meet, girl swim meet, will have ended, and we'd like to thank all the girls, the referees do a fine job, the judges, and the timekeepers, everyone involved with the meet. We're here at the Camden County Vocational School for the meet. Meet's just ended, the last event. We hope you've enjoyed it for Camden County Vocational School. This has been Michael Harrington. Good night from B15.